Okay, so you need to understand how to use automations to make your quizzes work. So I want to show you how to do that in today's video. I want you to go over here to Site, and we're going to go to Quizzes. So I'm going to bring up my sites. Okay, and so now that we're in, so go to Sites, go to Quizzes, and I'm going to jump into this landing page quiz build because this is what runs through my automation. So I'm just going to show you. A rough way of describing this is that there is a score that's given to someone who is going through your quiz based off the answers that they select. Based off of that score, you have the ability to tag someone afterwards and send them into a specific automation based off the tag that they're given because of the score, right? So let me show this to you. So we get to page 4. What would you like to do next? If someone wants to get the codes, well, then they're going to be tagged with a certain score. If someone wants to skip that and they just want the designs, they want to do it themselves, they're going to be given a different score because of that answer. That's how simple this automation runs, because I don't want to do a lot of stuff with it. I only want to know who's hot, wants to buy right now, who's cold, who doesn't want to buy at all. So I go over here and we are going to look at this information. I'm going to click this gear icon. It's going to bring up the information that we're looking for. You can see here that the score is a score of 90 for anyone who wants to save time for such and such. And then the score here, trying to design this all myself, is a score of 90, but it's in a different category. So we have the category of hot and the category of cold. That's important because we want to make sure that we know where what they are scoring in. This makes it really easy. The way that we add categories is that we just click on the category selector. You can go to add/manage, and then you would just add it in down here, add a new category. Whenever you bring yours up, you're probably not going to have any there. So just add that category in, and then you click submit based off of those two. You can go back into any of these buttons. And so let's say that I wanted to add a different tag in a different category, and I wanted to categorize this question with agency, client, work, coaching, consulting. I would go down to this original GoHighLevel formatting for the code. And I would just click that gear icon and bring that up. And then from agency client work, I could go to category, I could add a new, and from here, I would add in that category. Since all of these are running within this quiz, they're all going to show. This is important because this is where we would then add a score. And if a specific score ranged within that area, let's say that I added 30 to agency client work, then that would give us a score of whatever, right? And so from that, you can send them through different automations. If they have both tags, if they have the tag of agency client work, and then they also have the tag of hot lead, that may put them into a new automation. For this, I didn't go that far because I just wanted to know who was a hot lead, who was a cold lead. Cool. Now you know how to categorize people within the quiz, but we need this to be an automation. So what we want to do is we want to go to our automation right now. So because of that category, we are going to be able to select people from that. So we back out of here. We're going to proceed. If you made any changes, it's going to think that it needs to save. It doesn't. Run over here to automation. Follow my cursor. And so from this, we're going to go into our automations. What I'll tell you with automations, keep them all within a folder. You can see here, PrettyQuizCodes automations. I have them all in one folder. I don't have to go anywhere else for them. I don't want to go anywhere else for them. I would like to keep them all together. This makes it really easy on my life. But you see here where I have a hot lead email drip sequence, and then I have the cold lead email drip sequence. Those are the sequences that have all of the emails within them, but you need to put together this quiz submit tagging first. So there's 1, 1.2, and then 1.3. So let's go into 1 first, PrettyQuiz submit tagging. Now we have our trigger at the top. So first option is that we got triggered by the hot quiz submitted or the trigger of the cold quiz submitted. What does that mean? Exactly what we just went over in the quiz itself. Someone submitted the quiz, they clicked on that, I want to see it now. And so they got tagged with this because their hot score was between 50 to 100. And you saw before that I gave them a score of 90. So that just guarantees that they're going to have it. And then same thing. So for the cold quiz, exact same thing. So quiz name is landing page quiz build, and then the cold score between 50 to 100. I gave them a score of 90 whenever they clicked on that cold score, and that's exactly what they got. So from that, we're going to create a contact for that individual, and then we are going to create that as a condition. We want to have the condition that the workflow is hot quiz submitted and or the workflow is cold quiz submitted. The reason why we're doing this is because we don't want anyone to fall through the cracks for whatever reason. If GoHighLevel kind of gets lost in the sauce, I still want something to go out. It's important that we know where they're headed and what's happening. But with that, it gives us conditional branches, and this is where the tags come in. So whenever that workflow trigger is submitted as that hot quiz, it's going to add that quiz, the hot lead tag. And so within that, we have our hot lead tag branch, and then we have our cold lead tag branch. And so this is all we're going to do for this first area. I'm going through this quickly because I just want to show you. I just want to give you like a quick behind the scenes. If you do want this, then all of this is available if you're in my affiliate program. I just give you all of this and then show you how to create it all yourself. So then we go back to our workflows. Now that those tags have been added because someone submitted the hot or the cold, they're going to go into that drip sequence. These drip sequences are the exact same in the way that they're structured. They're completely different in the emails that are going out, because if someone wants to buy right now, they need a specific amount of information. They need very specific information for how to buy. Someone who just wants to see the free product and is on the fence about if they're going to buy from you, they just want more information. They need to maybe build trust with you, see you as an expert. They don't believe that what you're offering can actually help them, even though you know that it can. They don't know that yet. So that's a very different pieces of information that need to go out. So from that trigger, it's whenever that hot lead gets added to the potential buyer. And so from that, that's going to send out an email. That's the first email that happens. It triggers, hey, you submitted the quiz. Here's the email. I know what you're looking for because I was able to tag you. So the email goes out. You want to wait for a day for it to open. And then you want to check for that hot lead tag. So the reason why this is important is because within the payment submission area, we're going to go over that in a little while. If someone submits a payment or if someone buys the product, then all of the tags are going to be removed and they're going to get kicked out of this workflow, this drip sequence. That's important because you need to make sure that every single time it's checking for this tag, so that way they're not just stuck in 3 to 4 different email sequences, if that makes sense. This clears everything out. So, they submitted the quiz, they go into this drip sequence. So they're going to get these emails. If they submit the payment and they get the product, then it removes that hot lead tag and they become a paying customer. So they get tagged with that paying customer tag. They're no longer in this drip sequence for a hot lead because the hot lead is going to keep trying to sell them. They've already been sold. They don't want that information anymore. So you want to make sure that you have that, because if the conditions are not met and they don't have that tag, then it's gone. So now we're checking, was the email opened? Was it even opened? If yes, then it's going to wait 2 days and then it's going to send the next email. If not, then it's going to wait 2 days and it's going to send them back up and it's going to send them another email, right? So right off the bat, if not, then they're getting that email 1 with a new subject. And then we go on to, it's going to wait for if it was opened, if it wasn't opened, or if it was, it's still moving on. It's going to check for that hot lead tag again. And so that's the system that it runs for every set. So it's going to check and see, was the email opened? If it was, then it sends them through to the next branch. But before that, most importantly, we check for that hot lead tag. And then if it still has that hot lead tag, that means they haven't bought. This goes all the way through for a few days. You can make this go as long as you want. I try not to spam. I just kind of let people be. I know for myself, if I got a bunch of emails, it wouldn't help me. I typically keep a good tab on what I want to use and what I don't. And email doesn't exactly sell me on that anymore. It's more so about what I'm in need of at that point in time. I know that sounds strange, but I just think email is a little different now, at least the way that I use it. So, or interact with it. So go back to our workflows, because I want to show you what I was talking about within the cold email drip campaign, because it's going to be the exact same setup. It's just geared for engaging the audience that didn't want to buy from you. They just wanted your free stuff. Okay, so the exact same. We get the checking for the, or did they get the contact tag, which is the trigger for cold lead. And then let's check this and let's see. So the trigger name is different, and it looks like I have an error in mine. So always double check. It looks like I didn't save something correctly, but you want to make sure this is cold lead. Always checking for cold lead. How funny is that? So tag is added, and we need to go back in and add that as the cold lead contact tag added. And that just changes what you see up top. So once I save this trigger, then they're going to be given all this information. None of this will save unless you go up to the top and click save, which you should be doing. I think I didn't click save. I backed out of a browser, and that can ruin your entire workflow. So make sure that you're always going back and saving your work, especially if you do it little by little, because if you mess up or you get, kind of distracted, it's gone forever. But that's going to happen. The cold lead email takes place. They get their first email, waits for a day to see if it's opened. Now, if it isn't opened, then it'll go through this sequence. But before even checking if it was opened, we want to check and see, do they even have that cold lead tag anymore? Because I want to make sure that they are in need of this cold lead information. If they're not, if they came back and they bought because they looked at what you gave them in the free resources and thought, oh, I do need what they're offering, then they don't need to be in this anymore, and they need all the information that's going to be given out through the other information in the sales pipeline. So what we have is the same thing. Was the email opened? If not, then the email with a new subject goes up. If so, then it waits a day, and then it sends that second email. And then it's going to wait for that email to go out. It checks for the cold lead tag, and then it does it again. So it looks like the automation starts here, but it doesn't. It technically, once that email is sent, that wait a day is just right after that email, and then it triggers everything else. So you're just having a day in between the emails that are going out. I recommend doing that because it makes it a little bit easier on the person buying. If they didn't buy right away, yes, you want to make sure that you get them. But studies show that if you haven't sold them within the first 2 minutes of answering a phone call, then you've already lost 90% of the opportunity. So it's more so about building trust at that point. It's not about spamming their email with this, maybe I can give you more money off. Because if someone wants something, the price doesn't matter. Like if you want something, what do you want right now? Like something you want to buy. And if it's something that you really want, you really need, you're not really going to care how much it costs. If it's something that you really want and need, and it's going to help you in your life move forward and make more money, something to that scale, or if it's going to save you tons of time, right? Like you're not going to care. So that's what you're trying to build trust on and sell them on. And that's more important. And that's kind of what's going on in these emails. I'll go through that more specifically later on, but it goes all the way to day 4. Again, day 4 is when I kind of let things drop off and move on. And if they don't want it, then, they don't want it, but they'll come back to you. Sales and marketing and the way the buyers engage is very different nowadays. So they're going to find you across different points, and you want to have tons of information going out. So videos like this, how can you be of service? How can you help? That doesn't mean giving all of your stuff away for free. That just means whenever someone's in a pinch, like a time pinch, or whenever someone just wants an answer or needs guidance from someone who's a trusted resource, you're there, right? You're the one that answered that question. If that's going to happen, if that happens routinely, then you're going to be fine, because the top of the funnel, the people who are aware of that they have a problem, but they're not aware of you, or maybe they're not even aware of the problem, they find you, and some people are quick to buy. Then you get to the middle, which is middle of funnel is someone is aware of the problem and are now aware of your solution. And then bottom of funnel is they are completely aware of your ability to handle the problem and how quality the solution is. At least that's the way that I look at it. You can kind of readjust that a little bit differently, but that's how I like to see it. So I hope that was helpful. That's just a little more information on sales and marketing. But we're going to back out of this because we're not going to go through the emails and pick those apart. What I want to show you right now is what happens with the order form abandoned cart sequence, as well as the order submit, because now this is working on the landing page that you have built and whenever someone is engaging with your product, because that's what all this is for in some form or fashion, right? So we go to our order form abandoned cart sequence. I'm not going to go over my landing page today. It's pretty rudimentary. I find that landing pages that are overly technical or just like have so many words, it just feels like spam. Like people just want the brass tacks. They want simple. They want to know that you can do the job. If you have to like use every graphic known to man to prove that, then you're kind of just wasting time and space. People are just so overwhelmed nowadays. Like that's the issue. They're so overwhelmed with everything, media, with YouTube videos, with distractions. They want simple. Can you answer their problem? Can you help them? All right. So same thing. We have a trigger, and that trigger is order form submission. And that order form submission is on a two-step form on my checkout page. So it's in the funnel, which is PrettyQuizCodes. It's the page that in that funnel is technically the home page. And then that submission type is an opt-in. So they opt in with the name and email. And then from that opt-in, they're able to move on to the next page, which gives them the opportunity to put in their credit card information or payment information. Whenever they opt in and click submit, this fires, this trigger happens, and now it gets assigned to a user, which is me, yours truly, Connor Callahan, and then we have a 1 hour wait. I want to make sure that it's an hour because if someone hasn't purchased, it's technically an abandoned cart after an hour. They may be busy. If it's immediate, then they're still in the process of buying, or they may still be in the process of deciding, right? So after an hour, we have that time delay, which is just wait 1 hour, and then we create or update our opportunity for that, the AC, that abandoned cart. So we created an abandoned cart opportunity, and that is with the opportunity for the contact's name, and that's going to send out this email, this abandoned cart email, and that's what they're going to receive, which is just letting them know some more information about maybe a coupon code or something that will entice them to go back to the order page and complete the order, because within that hour, there is still a chance that they're on the fence. That might have been a hot lead that got busy or got distracted. Might have been somebody that saw your product and just kind of got cold feet. Happens all the time, right? You do it all the time. You do. And so with that coupon code, that's going to help them. Maybe they're wanting a little bit more. So with that abandoned cart feature, that helps to capture a few more sales. It doesn't have to be a big coupon, or it can be, however you want to make that work. But now let's see what happens whenever we get into our order submit. So now we're going to go into our order submit, which is a little different. It's going to be the same process, right? Trigger, order submit happened. It's a global PrettyQuiz starter pack. The global just means that it is anywhere that this item could have been sold. So let's say that I sell this on my landing page, but I also have the sales opportunity on a website, on in a quiz somewhere, right? Like it doesn't matter. In a form, you can do that, and still this will trigger. Now, if you just had it as the simple product in the landing page, then you would have to build one of these for every place that it's located. So just go ahead and use global. It's way easier on you. It's going to make you much happier. Go ahead and use global product is, and then the product that you've designed. If you don't know how to use products, then go ahead and click on this video where I show you how to design products. It's going to help you tremendously. Save some time and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so we want to remove them from that workflow of abandoned cart, because it's really important that whenever someone moves on to the next stage, you have something that triggers that takes them out from an old stage, so they're not getting all of this information that they don't want or need anymore. Then we remove them from the tags. So we have the cold lead and the hot lead tags being removed altogether, which will make sure that they're not in the nurturing sequence anymore. Unless you have something bigger to sell them, you don't want them in a nurturing email drip campaign, because they've already bought, right? Now it's time to deliver and over deliver. And so we want to assign them to a user so that way they you get notified and you can engage with them. Any of their emails or their texts are going to go to you or to anyone that you have on your team who you want them to go to. And then we're going to create that opportunity. We want to make sure that we know, because was the opportunity created? Was it won? Was it purchased? So as soon as we know that, it is going to tell to what extent that was sold at, like to how much you made, what was the opportunity worth, and that way you can keep up with the success of your business, because if you don't know your numbers, then your business is probably going to struggle. Now we're going to add another tag, because after the old tag was cut out, they're no longer part of the drip sequence. We want to put them into a new tag, which is going to allow them to stay in this area. And as long as they still have that tag, then they are going to receive the emails that we have assigned for them. That is I have it as the PrettyQuizCodes starter pack starter buyer, right? Now, if there was a product that was larger, like once I add more products to my business, if I go that route with this business, then what I would do is I would want to make sure that I'm checking for the tag, this PrettyQuizCodes starter buyer tag, every step of the way. So the day 1 email, the day 2 email, day 3, day 4, each one would have that weight and then the check for the tag. But because I don't have those products and I'm not taking anyone out of this sequence until the very end, then I just have it set to another 4-day email sequence. And then from that, I let it go. If they need to reach out to me or I need to reach out to them, they're in my ecosystem, right? Like they're using my products. So it's okay. They have access to me and they can email me directly. And if I need to send out a large email blast, then I can. So that is keeping up with all of my products and all of my automations. That's how I have automated this funnel. It's pretty simple, pretty rudimentary. As I said, there's later on with the affiliate link process, and whenever people are using the affiliate links, then you want to keep up with that. I'll make a video on that later on. But this is how simple it can be. It doesn't have to be all that hard. I do recommend keeping this very organized. So the 1.2, 1.3, for the 1, it is whenever someone's in the quiz phase and they're deciding to buy. 2 is whenever they are putting their information and engaging with the landing page. 3 is when they have purchased the product and they are moving on from there. So anything beyond that, like after I decided to create a new product, then the next set of information would then be that 3.1 would be the quiz submit tagging, or it would be similar to the quiz submit tagging. It would be something to the extent where I'm going to be tagging them because they're ready to buy my next offer. And then from that, it would go into another drip campaign of either did they buy it, were they interested, or were they not interested? Are they hot to that offer? Are they cold to that offer? So all of this can grow. It's just very simple right here. I hope this was helpful. And if you found this helpful, then I think you're going to find this video helpful next. It goes over some information on how to build quizzes and save you some time.